Hello, Taurus, and any and all Taurus placements. This is going to be a collective reading. So, anywhere you may have Taurus in your silly little birth chart, if you are aware of any signs and placements of your birth chart, this reading could be for you. You never know. Always take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Gonna get right into past, present, future tarot spread here. These all should be mixed up. Already wanting to speak. The Hierophant is the Taurus card. Taurus, you're showing up in your own reading. Showing up in your own reading. Look at you. Rhythm and movement, I feel like, have been very helpful and beneficial for you during this time, and whether that's just you vibing and jamming to your own music, or you just vibing in general. There's like a beat of your own drum, jamming to your own tunes, and just enjoying life in that sense. But also, like, when you think of yourself in that aspect, Taurus, you are seeing that and how you can have that mentality on other things in your life, other aspects and avenues in your life. How can you create new ventures off of old ones? How can you renew old feelings from the past that you feel like maybe you just want to find closure within yourself on things, or find a closure of like chapters of your past? Like, maybe people may think other people aren't, like, oh, they just need to grow up, and it's like, no, sometimes there's like a part of your inner child or inner younger version of you that just needed to live out that part of your life. Like some people just needed to be a kid, some people just needed to be a teenager, some people just needed to be a young adult. Like, there's a part into that it was just like you need to express it and needed to express it here in the past, and feeling like you're doing that because you felt like you couldn't in the past, because now you have the time, energy, and resources to do what needs to be done here in the future. What we have for you, Taurus, the Hierophant, Ace of Pentacles, or as this tarot deck likes to call it, Ace of Shields, and King of Swords. Let's flip these cards upside or right side up. If you recognize any of the runes, keep in mind of any of the runes. There's rune lore in here, and rune binds and staves and stuff. So, I'm not going to talk too much about the runes. We're going to talk a lot about just the reading itself. You are sitting on such a... There's like a giant ground of potential you stand on. And I feel like years and years and years, what people have been seeing is, oh, Taurus is just digging their own hole again. They just keep digging and digging and digging this hole. They're so stubborn. They're just going to dig this hole, and this hole's leading them nowhere. And you're sitting there like you put the shovel down, you're like, what are you yelling up there for? Because you're at the bottom of this pit you dug out. And you're yelling up at them, and you're like, they're not going to understand. So you mind your business, you go about your day, you do your thing. The hole that you're digging was for something. You were going to put a thing in that hole. Now, people think, oh, I'm going to plant this little seed. So I need this I gotta dig this little hole that you can dig with a friggin' like teaspoon, you know? And plant this little seed. You have a seed that is the size of like a building, and that's the hole that you've been digging, and it's been taking years. And it's been feeling like you've been digging yourself just like that metaphorical, you're just digging yourself a hole deeper and deeper, and it's like, no, like, you've been planning this out this whole entire time. This has been like a work in progress that was like, oh, what I want to do, I'm going to need a deeper hole for this. Oh, this seed's a lot larger than I thought again. All right, this needs to be a bit deeper. Okay, the seed can't quite fit yet. Let's keep digging, you know? So from the outside looking in, people really don't understand what or where you've come from and what your plan is, but it's like you don't have time to sit here and explain to everybody and every single person that you meet in your life and existence, to explain to them what your plan is, what the fuck's going on with why you're digging this giant ass hole. There's a giant ass seed for this giant ass hole, and it feels like you've dug it, planted it, and then now you've just really, like, are packing the dirt up on it. And then each and every day, it's like you're throwing more dirt to cover that little, like, I have to, like, draw this out. I have to draw this out because there's, like, no other way I can explain it other than drawing it out. Okay. You dug a hole. This is all dirt here, right? This is all dirt. This is all dirt. Here's the surface of the earth. This is the hole you dug. Okay? Here's you. Oh, look at you. So stylish. Oh my god, so beautiful, so handsome. That's you in comparison to the size of this thing. Okay? So now it's gonna take a little bit of time here to, you know, pack up some dirt and really, like, finish putting dirt on it, you know? Finish giving it its final touches. Okay, now it can get sunlight, rain, water, all that good stuff, you know? You've been planning something for a while. It's changed because you've always wanted to make sure it's something that was for this overall idea, and I think it's like a true dream you have. I feel like Tauruses are very, like, sure of themselves and sure of what they want to do, even if it changes. Because the true you is something you didn't really understand, you know, how large of a, I want to say potential, even soul that you have. Like, not even soul, it's like in your soul, it's like you have so much to give, so much potential to put out in the world, it feels like. And it's like a lot that is just waiting to, like, break ground, you know? And this is where it comes into the giant metaphor of, hey, you are breaking a lot of new ground, but it's just the beginning. Like, there is a lot of, you're breaking new ground. This is really good energy for you. And it's not over yet. There is a strong energy of, this energy is not over yet. It's not done with you, and you have a lot more potential coming your way. And you are more or less stubborn than you've ever been. I feel like you're stubborn in all the right ways now. A true King of Swords is going to put his or her energy, their energy, into something that is of value and of like, worth their time. They're not going to stubbornly put energy into an idea that's going to waste their time. It's going to be something like methodical and thought out, and be like, hey, I'm putting this effort and putting things off in order to finish this task. Like, you're disciplining yourself. It's not just stubbornness anymore. It turns from stubbornness into discipline. And this is where stubbornness can really benefit a lot of Tauruses, because Tauruses always get called, like, stubborn. But listen, there's like, a true Taurus turns all that stubbornness into discipline. And you know it when you see it. And they got some results to show for it, okay? There is no ifs, ands, whats about it. A true Taurus, a true disciplined Taurus is going to have results to show for it. And not even, like, a resume. They just have, like, a picture on their phone. Look at this thing I did. Look at this thing I did. Like, that's the energy of Tauruses right now. What's on the bottom of the deck here? Ooh, very, very big Taurus energy. If you aren't sure what's happening with some of your manifestations, they're brewing. They're brewing. They're cultivating. We just drew out a whole giant seed that you just planted, and now it's being watered. And now it needs to grow some roots. It's growing those roots, getting its solid, like, foundation in the ground, and then it's just waiting for that first little sprout to come up, you know? Queen of Pentacles reversed. Let me show you it upright so you can kind of see the art. It's very pretty. We're not going to discuss too much of the runes, so if you recognize any of the runes, you recognize them. There's rune binds and stabs, if you understand those and all that. There's a lot of cool rune synchronicities for runes and tarot. Very cool, very awesome, very amazing. And there's a lot of Nordic mythology here. It's Norse mythology kind of themed. But we are gonna clarify what's coming out here already. Come back to me. Another card that represents Taurus, the Empress. This is the Empress, but this is called the Wildwood Tarot. And in the Wildwood Tarot, if it would focus, this is called the Green Woman. There is a green woman and green man in... Oh boy. Oh. I don't know if I can show that. That is a quite interesting, intriguing image. I didn't realize that was on there. That is wild. But it makes sense. Okay. So, the Green Woman is the Empress in the Wildwood Tarot, because it's based off of a lot of Celtic lore. And in Celtic lore, there's a green woman and green man for the male and female, just masculine and feminine archetypes. Masculine energy is yang. Feminine energy is yin. So when you think of yin and yang, yin is feminine, yang is masculine. They are not really associated with gender when we think of the energy of it, but we can technically associate them with gender, but we don't always have to, you know? These are energies at the end of the day. Energies we all hold within us. We all hold masculine and feminine energy within us. Every single one of us, each and every single day. Did I mix these up? No, I did not. Clarifying the Hierophant. Taurus, we're clarifying you here. You... I feel like the Hierophant, really, I want to explain the Hierophant. Hierophant is a card of commitment, but it's also commitment to learning, commitment to really breaking ground on how you commit to learning, whether it's learning for a specific job, role, promotion. Don't mind that. There's just some lights falling back there. It's because we didn't tape them good. It's just a rough job that we put the lights up in a very rough way. We gotta fix it. the discipline that I was talking about earlier coincides and correlates with this commitment. I want you to keep in mind how much you are disciplining yourself when you are fully committed to what you do. See how much you discipline yourself when you are fully committed to what you do. Because I feel like this is the thing that's bringing you into a bigger and deeper awareness of yourself. No, that's the only card. Okay, good. Clarifying the Hierophant is the Empress, 9 of Cups, and 9 of Pentacles. Which in this deck it is called the 9 of Vessels and the 9 of Stones. Nine of Cups says generosity, but it came out reversed. I did flip it that way, but it felt right. I did one of these, and that would technically turn it in reverse, but sometimes that's kind of how things go with the tarot. This Ace of Pentacles is really intriguing with how we have 9 and 9 opposite each other, and these two guys are in the same position. I just noticed. Never noticed that before. I had this deck for a while. They're in like the same, look at their arms, they're like in a very similar like crisscross applesauce kind of position, you know? One different than the other, but I feel like the tradition in discipline needs to be like a ritual for you. Like, you need to tap into that spiritual side, or that like real self-care side of you. If you like to do skincare, self-care, things like that, that is you. If you need to tap into that spiritual side of you that is genuinely like interested in small kinds of spiritual practices that you may or may not have dabbled in, there's more to tap into. And it doesn't need to be as well thought out as you think it needs to be. Like, sometimes people are like, it needs to be all like bells and whistles and fancy and shiny, and it's like, it can feel like this in your mind. It can feel like all of that in your mind, which is funny how this came out reversed, because that's usually how I see things in the mind space. When things are reversed, it's like not in reality yet, it's like of the mind. It's like, oh, that's how it looks in your mind, but this is what's actually going on in real life, you know? Like, the bells and whistles are in your hands, and you are the one really taming the rhythm of your own spiritual sense of self. Sense of self or spiritual sense of self? And spirituality. I feel like a lot of people here are just spiritual in their own manner, and your need to follow that is very important for you at this time. But what do you need to follow in order to gain this knowledge? Someone's asking, what do they need to follow in order to gain their knowledge? I feel like there's a big sense of, please, coach, teach, whoever, life, universe, please teach me more. I want to learn more. I need to learn more. And it's like, experience things. That's how you learn more. You experience things. And this is the big part of just doing these spiritual practices. Ooh, we have Queen of Pentacles And Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles came out twice here. You are planting a lot of ideas and seeds in your mind, and I feel like coming out of this, like, cave, coming out of this stage and planting those ideas into reality is that ritual that needs to be done. Like, going out and taking action in a little bit of where you want to go in life. Just getting yourself in that direction and disciplining yourself to just start is beneficial enough to really water this giant, like, manifestation that you've been holding on to for a really long time. Because I think you really understood what would be beneficial, like, in all for you, and you were like, I want to manifest that. And then you realized, that's a giant manifestation I am asking from the universe. That's gonna take a while, probably. So I'm gonna just, alright, I'm gonna do my work, I guess, you know? There's this sense of understanding the practice. The Nine of Pentacles here says tradition. Tradition. That ritual, that spiritual sense of self. You always need to go and take a shower, you know? Showers can literally be cleansing. And if you want to go further, get your soap with some lavender. If you don't like lavender, I mean, peppermint's always good if you don't mind the minty stuff. What's another one? What's the word? I'm forgetting. I think it's star anise. Anise or star anise. There's certain herbs that are good at cleansing. Lavender's very good at cleansing. The best at cleansing. So most soaps have lavender in them. So anytime you're thinking of taking a shower with lavender soap or shampoo, think of yourself as just cleansing your whole entire emotions, your spiritual self, your energy. Whatever you think it is that feels icky inside of you, just think of the soapy water and the lavender just being like, fuck you, get out of me. You are being washed off, you icky energy, you icky feelings. And it's simple things like that, just like taking a shower, that needs to really be planned out and really just handled methodically. You need to handle your discipline methodically, because you know how you work, you know how you function, you know your own balance, and you know how to achieve the balance you need. You just need to do it. And I think it's tough because sometimes it's like, oh, well, I spent all day working on this one thing, and now I don't have energy to give myself, like, the balance I need, you know, that self-care that you need at the end of the day. Or, like, maybe you're like, oh, I'll just take a shower tomorrow. And it's like, no, you should probably try and do it at some point soon, you know? It doesn't have to be right this second, but it does have to be disciplined at some point. In discipline, your stubbornness can be turned into discipline to committing towards this, like, betterment of yourself. This betterment of yourself is, like, all that you're seeking. Eight of Cups. Clarifying the Ace of Pentacles reversed right here is the Queen of Pentacles, which is the second time it came out, because Queen of Pentacles came out right here. So clarifying the Ace of Pentacles is the Queen of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Wands. This tarot deck words them a bit differently. I just call them all the same thing, so you guys do not get confused. Eight of Cups says rebirth, and Four of Wands says celebration. There's celebration in going beyond what feels like an old part of you that you felt like you couldn't grow into or grow out of. Not grow into, I meant grow out of, my bad. There's parts of you that need to celebrate. Yeah, we are actually encouraged to grow out of these things, to grow out of these old caves and beyond into new ones, into new ventures, into new experiences and celebrations and enlightenments. You know, if you want to gain enlightenment, you got to go and seek that. You can't just sit there and wait for enlightenment to come to you. It's something you got to seek within yourself. And it can be hard to seek it within yourself, but it's like going out there and experiencing stuff can kind of bring a spark to how you want to go about it. There's always different ways to go about seeking enlightenment and seeking spiritual enlightenment, but you gotta find your way, and the best way to find that way is to just start. Like, there's no other way than to just start. And I can't express that enough. So, let's get the last of the clarification here. Clarifying the King of Swords reversed is the Seven of Cups. Choices, decisions, options. Mourning choices you once made. Sometimes we can sit here and grieve some of the choices we've made in the past, but we can't sit there and, like, wallow in them forever. And we can't sit there and just, I'm gonna forget about that. No, you gotta sit there and acknowledge it. You gotta sit there and look at it. You gotta sit there and look at, hey, maybe this wasn't the best way to go about this, like, self-care thing, or this way of doing whatever it is you wanted to do. There's, like, a certain different types of tasks, different types of avenues of fulfillment, different types of paths that you've taken that you could have gone about better, and you just didn't know at the time. That's what needs to be reminded. You need to remind yourself you didn't know at the time. That's the biggest enlightening thing here, because then you can understand, all right, now that I know more information, since I am older and wiser than I was then, how can I make the best decision for this moment in time? And then in the future, if I figure out I could have made an even better decision, then it is what it is. That's how you learn. That is the process of learning, especially when it comes to spirituality and spiritual topics and spiritual just knowledge. Like, you need to give yourself that time and space and effort in reminding yourself that you got to give yourself time. You got to give yourself the effort and time, and it's so much like back and forth, but like it's like doing one thing for another so they both can kind of function for each other. It's weird to say that in a sentence. Ace of Pentacles. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. So 2 cards came out twice, which was the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So whatever you've been growing, whatever you've been really just, like, knowing that you've been wanting to build inside your heart space, like, you have an idea and a passion and a true dream of yours in your heart space, and you're just dead set on it, like, it's a part of you now. That is, like, growing and brewing in the background like no other, and I feel like this patience is going to, like, speed it up. Like, the more patient you are, the faster it's going to be. So it's like watching, I feel like this is a weird metaphor, but anybody who knows computers knows that when you're watching, like, that little bar that goes across the screen when something's loading, and you're watching it, and then it slows down, and then you're like, is it even moving? And then you look away for like a minute, and then you look back, and then it's all done. It's like right when you look away, it's like something speeds up. So it's like have to not look at, is this thing happening? Is it coming in? No, you already are your manifestation. It's already here, technically. You can say it's already here, or you don't even have to say that part. You already are your manifestation, so keep treating yourself and acting accordingly, because you have been acting accordingly to this manifestation that is brewing. And it's not just a manifestation, it's this reality that you've been creating for yourself constantly. No matter what you've been working on, what your day job has been over the years, you've had this passionate dream for years and years and years, and you have it right here in your hands and your doorstep almost. And needing to have patience is like, that's when you kind of want to remind yourself and even feel like this manifestation is speeding up, because it truly is. It needs your patience, and it needs you to not look at it. Like, it's kind of like you work best when you are not focused on whether, is this thing coming in for me? Like, that is when you work best. I should have lowered this camera a little bit. I thought you could see the cards a bit more. Bottom of the deck. 7 of Swords. If you feel like you are gonna get caught up in waiting on your manifestation, I want you to ask yourself in that moment, anytime you're thinking about that, what are you insecure about? And not beat yourself up for asking it about an insecurity, because we all have insecurities. We all have them. So, going back to clarifying the King of Swords here, this determined, direct energy. Clarifying that, we have the Seven of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Ace of Pentacles showing up for the second time in your reading, Taurus. You have a card of decision making, a card of intuition, and a card of new beginnings. But not just new beginnings that are chapters of our lives. Not just little doors that we open. These are things that are big changes for us. Things that change our whole entire world, our whole entire way of living, breathing, and in our environment. And I feel like you've had to change yourself in order to accommodate for this new environment you want to, reside in for yourself. You've had to make accommodations for it, and you seek this life now. And that's the true difference in how you treat this manifestation now. You have to have patience, because now the only reason that the universe doesn't want you to worry about your manifestation is not like, oh yeah, I'm going to get distracted. It's like, no, you're going to get distracted from the work you have to do, like the responsibilities of your manifestation. You don't just get a manifestation and it's all magical, like solved. No, you build that. There's responsibilities to that. And it's like the mentality of you build it and then it comes in for you. You build it and then they will come. That silly little movie reference. So anytime you feel like it's not coming in for you, oh, is this thing gonna come in for you? Is this manifestation gonna come in for you? All of that's just insecurity. Remember that. And it's not bad to feel insecure. There's nothing wrong with feeling all caught up in your head like this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with feeling this way. You feel this way however you want to feel this way. But just understand that in this process, you must have acceptance. See that skull down there? I want you to see any skulls as a symbolism and symbol of death. And when you see a symbol of death, it's acceptance. Excuse me, excuse me for shoving this person's feet in your face. I'm trying to get you to look at the skull. Because the skull is very important when it comes to death and how we process death as human beings when it comes to like acceptance. How we process acceptance as human beings. It's very different for every single one of us. So it's not always going to look exactly the same. But I want you to at least try and see if it can look, or not even try to see if it can look a certain way for you. Just see what this acceptance can look like for you. And the only way to know what it can look like is to go ahead and try and accept it. There's no other way to understand how you will accept something other than to just try and accept it. If you're not going to know how you're going to feel at the end of it, then you should just accept it for what it is. And if the accepting it for what it is accepting you for who you are and the true manifestation of what you are your manifestation, you got to accept that. There's a level of acceptance here for yourself that you're not giving yourself, and I need you to really focus in and be honest. You're not letting yourself have the true energy of that manifestation. Because if you sit here and worry about all the, oh, what is this coming in? Is that coming in? You're not letting yourself be free. You're not letting yourself actually work on what needs to be done for the manifestation that you already are. You kind of see where we loop back around and you get it, and then now you're manifesting your manifestation in the moment. Yeah, sit on that. Come back around, rewatch this motherfucking reading, or stay in tune and keep updated with my content to kind of keep in check with your Taurus energy. So, that's perfect timing. Thank you. That is all. That is an awesome reading. I really, really hope the best for you, Tauruses. You really need to genuinely keep honest trust in yourself. Keep honest trust in yourself, because you truly have it. You truly got it, and it's like, you know if you don't got it. Okay? I don't even need to, all I'm gonna say is the people who don't got it are probably not watching this reading right now, so you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day or night, Taurus. That's all I have for you. Thank you for letting me read your cards. That was really, really cool reading. And that is all I have for you. Like I said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or night wherever you are in this beautiful planet Earth of ours. And as always, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Peace.